Hey guys, welcome to episode 2 of Off the Pew.
We're
Woo!
back. We're back.
And if you didn't watch the first episode, Nathan,
I'm Andre.
I'm Benji.
we're gonna talk about a different topic this time. Hopefully, keep the topic around Easter. From Palm Sunday to Resurrection. As we just get out of this celebration of Jesus Christ resurrecting from the grave, we're just gonna take a little time to speak about it. Maybe what's on our minds, what the Holy Spirit has to say through us. But yeah, for sure, let's get into it.
I guess we can. I was gonna say how much the feedback. Talk about the feedback a little bit from last week's podcast, but
That's a good idea.
yeah, but we took your advice after talking to everybody. I'm gonna stop talking a lot.
Please.
What else? What else did we get? The mic is still a little bit broken, but I'm gonna talk a little bit louder and try not to sound like garbage.
We'll keep the Sorry, I'm just moving that for you. We'll keep the conversation. Try to keep it natural, but we might try to keep it down to 45 minutes, of an hour. We'll see how it goes, though.
No promises.
We might have a lot to
You
talk
guys
about.
stop watching on 2x speed, please. No, I'm just kidding.
But yeah, so Andre, I don't know. I know you didn't bring any other questions up. Do you have any questions as an intro to start out, just to get to know us a little better? I don't know if you have anything on your head.
Me towards you guys, you're saying?
Yeah,
Let's see.
I didn't mean to put you on the spot.
Yeah, you really did. I was like, I didn't come prepared for these questions like that. To get to know each other more.
What's your guys' favorite color?
I don't have one.
You don't have one? I
No.
don't think any guy. Well, maybe not any
So-
guy, but
All the cool guys don't have one.
yeah.
I mean, the cliche is blue, right?
I like blue, but I also like a lot of other colors.
Yeah, so the thing is, I'm a big just black and white. I mean,
That is true. Minimalistic.
We're not talking about
Nice. I'm, like,
clothing,
wearing
we're just
red
talking
here.
about in general.
I guess I refer more to clothes, but like, where else do you apply your favorite color?
Nothing.
There's nothing.
I guess a car, maybe.
Yeah, my
but-
car is white though, so
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm wearing red for Benji. Benji's car. I got you, bro. Anyways, we can just go into it. I'm down.
yeah, no more getting to know each other. I think we know each other well
yeah.
enough. Let's go. Let's
Okay.
go right in.
So I guess, the first thing that we talk about usually when you pop into the story about Easter is Palm Sunday. And I did bring a couple questions to the table regarding like different topics. Benji already have his Bible open to
Yeah, I'm getting ready, bro.
Yeah,
Last time you put me on the
Like,
spot. I
Matthew
was
26.
unprepared.
Matthew 26
Okay.
is kind of the main one that people look
Is
at.
that we're gonna stick around?
Yeah.
Stay in the Gospel of Matthew, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, you can, if you know where it is in Luke, or if
I
you know where
well,
Jesus
recently in the
So where
Bible
in Luke do they talk about Palm Sunday?
in the Bible study in the back room, we're literally in social hall on Sunday mornings, we're literally like in the Easter chapter of
I mean, it makes sense.
of John.
Of John? Okay.
yeah.
Okay, and then
John is-
also,
John is interesting.
our memory verse for like the church was from Luke 19, which
Yep.
was about Palm Sunday. So I know it's in Luke 19 as far as, so I can have Luke open.
Okay.
Just in
Yeah,
case,
yeah.
yeah.
I was gonna say Luke 19 if you didn't know, but so kind of forgetting now what I was gonna say. But oh yeah, you guys know how Easter, the date moves around every
Yeah.
single year.
Mhm.
Do you know what it's based on? Do any of you know what it's based on? I just looked it up today, actually.
I
Not
know
for this
it's
podcast, I
it's
just
always a
was curious.
Sunday because in like,
Yes,
in the
yes.
verse it said on the last day of the week he rose, right?
Yeah.
So then it's based on that Sunday, and then
But
we know 3
It
days.
moves. Sometimes
of
it's in
Good
March.
Friday.
Sometimes it's in April. Do you know what it's actually based on?
I thought it was always the first Sunday after like a Thursday or something like that.
No, so it's the first full moon after the spring equinox, because Passover is on the first
Oh.
full moon. Right? So basically it's that's when Passover is. But that week based on,
Yeah,
and then we just determine it on Fridays, Good Friday, Sundays.
So you tell me you
So-
just looked this up for fun?
Yeah.
Not for the
Yeah,
podcast, you
preparation
said,
for this
"I wonder
podcast, bro.
why."
I bet he didn't know that.
Yeah.
Uh,
I wanted to know it, so I looked it up. I didn't even do it for the podcast. I just for fun.
actually,
Yeah, it was literally today. I was laying down on this couch.
oh, nice.
Sorry, I'm not lazy. Anyways, so yeah, Palm Sunday, as I was saying earlier, before I got rudely interrupted by Andre. I'm kidding. I don't know. I can't remember. Anyways, I did bring a question. So we hear a lot about this, maybe in our own conversations or even in sermons at church. What is the significance of people praising and worshiping Jesus before, the eventual turn on him during the actual crucifixion? Like, do you guys have anything about that?
Okay, so I guess like the question is like, so they were praising him when he like came into the temple or came into Jerusalem, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
the significance you said?
Yeah, like I mean,
Wasn't there a few prophecies about him entering Jerusalem triumphantly?
yes, there were.
So it's to fulfill prophecies, probably.
Mm-hmm. That is true. He did fulfill. I just don't know what prophecies. I know it's about riding a donkey into Jerusalem, but
Yeah.
I guess for me it's like that the same people. It is Jerusalem, right? Both where he died and also where Palm Sunday happens.
Yeah.
The people that are laying down the palms.
Yeah. The palm
and then
leaves as he
and they're also
enters.
their
Hosanna,
coats
Hosanna.
and
in the
Jesus
highest.
riding the colt into the gates of Jerusalem.
Yeah.
It's just the same people that are doing this.
Same people that praised him,
I know.
condemned him to death, and asked for him to be crucified over a murderer and sinner.
So it is the same multitude, like, or
It's
I-
Jerusalem.
It's
okay, so
Jerusalem
it's
as
Jerusalem
a
in general,
whole,
but
so
like
yeah,
doesn't mean those exact people
That
were the
is
ones.
true. I mean, I did think about that.
I'm sure.
Does it have? I didn't write this down, but like, is that any connection to today that these same people that were worshiping? I don't know. I feel like I'm trying to get something in my head right now as I'm saying this, but I can't get anything. Maybe someone has something faster. But like the same, like other people today like that. That
I think, I mean, it might have something to do with this, like, kind of copying what the crowd says, as far as,
yeah,
what-
mob
yeah,
mentality.
well, kind of this mob
exactly.
mentality, right?
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, no, I didn't want to cut you off. So, but this what I think about is, Christianity is the #1 religion worldwide. It has the most believers. But then in the Bible it says the road to heaven is narrow and there will be few.
Yeah, it is.
So
Very,
I obviously there's a disconnect. So obviously some Christians are not making it to heaven. Those the Christians that are mob mentality following. So like they believe not because it's actually what they believe in their heart, but just because people around them do, or they like the idea of it, but they're not, pursuing a personal relationship with Jesus.
yeah.
All these people like, oh, a great prophet entering the city. Hosanna, praise him. Yeah, he's cool. Oh, wait. I just hear all these people saying he's blasphemous. He's doing this. Yeah, crucify him. He's bad. So I do believe, there's a connection between then and now for sure.
First of all, quick aside, I know a lot of people told me to stop messing with the mic, but
No
way.
way.
Bro,
Help
you're
it.
manhandling
There's
him.
no
Can't help
chance.
it.
I gotta have something to do. So
He's the one that doesn't have a
Listen,
laptop on his lap.
I'll try to chill
Yeah,
out
we look
talking
cool,
so
Nathan.
much, but you guys are gonna have to bear with me with
You
messing with
you
the
move
mic.
a lot when you talk,
Yeah, I gotta.
and you're in between us. So I'm just looking this way the whole time. You're moving
trying
your
to-
head
I'm
back
trying
and
to
forth.
pivot.
That's okay.
But yeah,
Okay.
I do agree. It's just I think I can't just assume that it was the same people, right? So it might be like different people, but I think in general
Well,
it is.
I think it's still the same crowd. It's still Jerusalem. Like it is a huge city, but
Yeah, I mean, have you guys ever watched like the Ben-Hur movie?
Mm-hmm.
Ben-Hur?
yeah, the animated one,
All
The-
three.
the live action.
No,
There's
just
three.
the live action one from like 1950 something.
50s.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
50s.
I didn't watch
That's
that
the first one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like in that one, it described. I mean, that one was referring to Jesus carrying the cross
Mm-hmm.
to Gethsemane, but
Gethsemane.
it's the hill, right?
No.
Golgotha, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the garden, right?
Garden.
I
the
guess
garden.
Oh, that's so
Woo!
embarrassing.
That's embarrassing.
Close one, close one.
That gives y'all copy.
Sorry, I guarantee you there would have been comments about
I
that.
yeah,
know,
for
if
sure.
we
Thank you,
didn't
thank you.
adjust it.
Golgotha. How you say it in English though? I feel like it's
Golgotha. It's with a
Golgotha,
TH.
yeah.
Yeah.
But that was referring to something different. But it was just like this idea of like everybody was so like interested, and they all ran to see what was happening. So I think it's the same thing here on Palm
Yeah.
Sunday. Like the meal comes in, and then there's people that are actually praising and stuff like that, and everybody just comes and looks.
Well, yeah, I
and
guarantee you
then,
there's people in
so-
the crowd who knew
so-
Jesus
yeah.
and actually
That is
believed
true.
he was the Messiah. But there's also there's probably people just there because the crowd was there.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it does show this whole
And it's just-
mom mentality. and-
Yeah, it's just the theme of Israel. Just
throughout all
Mistakes
all-
throughout
yeah.
all of the
past-
Bible.
throughout the whole
Just they can
Testament.
never get it right.
Yeah, and like Jesus, right? Because we had a whole sermon on this on Thursday or Friday. Forgot. Oh, was it? No, or it might have been the week before, right, for Palm Sunday. This idea that Jesus, like before he entered, cried for Jerusalem, right?
Yeah.
Shout out to the Winterfest person who said, Jesus, remember when they asked about Jesus wept, and he goes, "It was for Jerusalem." This is what he was referring to. So he
Oh.
was right. That was
No, it's for Lazarus though. That's
yeah,
embarrassing.
but
Yeah,
like
that's the
he was
famous
still right
verse.
that Jesus did weep for Jerusalem, and so like
Yeah.
you find this idea of like he's about to enter this area where everybody's gonna praise him, but he starts off for crying for Jerusalem because they don't know that their time has already come.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. I guess we can move into Last Supper almost.
Yeah.
So Last Supper for me, like I look into it as Passover.
Yeah. It's a Passover meal.
Passover is significant in this sense because we know Passover comes from the Lord saving the Israelites out of Egypt,
The
right?
10th plague.
Yeah, the 10th plague,
It was a passing over of
the angel of death.
the angel
passing
of death
over.
passing over the doors marked with blood of the lamb.
Yeah, exactly.
I will call out Benji. Name the 10 plagues.
Dude, you can't do that to me, man.
Every
Oh,
episode.
we keep on
You
doing that
can't
to
do that
him.
to me, bro. All right, you name him.
No, I asked you, dude.
Exactly, bro. What do you mean?
I would get them mixed up,
Yeah,
but I'm
alright.
not gonna trust myself to. I mean,
Yeah.
I feel so embarrassed if I mess this up, dude. I'm supposed to be the Bible nerd,
Yeah.
at least a nerd, to know about this
No,
stuff.
it's gonna take a while to find
Yeah,
out.
no,
Just
we'll
search
just-
it up on Google. Google's
Okay,
good.
or we could just move on and
I-
say,
I-
yeah, we know the 10. We know the
Yeah,
10.
we know that. We know that. Do you guys know?
Let us know in the comments.
Yeah. Hey, let us know in the comments. 10 plagues down below. No cheating.
But yeah, anyways, so Passover, the angel of death passing over, seeing the blood of the lamb spilt, brushed alongside the doorpost.
It's a cool significance. I think there can be like some lines drawn between the blood of the lamb, blood of
Exactly,
Jesus, the
that's what I was
lamb.
gonna say. Like
Yeah.
that's why, I mean, it's just I don't want to call it irony, but it's just like it's not coincidence that
Yeah.
God placed
I mean,
this time in the same as the Passover
yeah.
to connect the two stories of the Israelites and also us Christians together.
Our China can be like a Passover celebration because when God comes, the blood of the lamb causes
China's
death to pass us
communion, by
over,
the way,
you know?
communion.
China communion. It's not that many non-Romanians watching this, I guarantee you. But yeah, our communion is like kind of a Passover celebration too, because the blood of Jesus, sin and death passes over us. Like it can't touch us because the blood of
Exactly.
Jesus is protecting. That's
Jesus
cool.
is the propitiation. That's one of my
Yeah.
favorite words.
Yeah.
Propitiation represents.
Propitiation for
I,
us.
I will say for the Last Supper, I think, when I'm, praying or thinking about Jesus, like that is like the image that comes in my brain. A lot of people have like this throne image or something like that, like in their brain. But like when like I think about Jesus, like my mind directly goes to this painting. Everybody knows, right? The famous painting of the
Leonardo
12.
da Vinci.
Yeah, I think it's Da Vinci.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
it's
okay.
Da Vinci, the Last Supper. painting.
Like and just that story is like just seeing Jesus, especially the washing of the feet. Like imagine
yeah,
like
his servant.
the savior of the world like just kneels down and like
Who preached that? Was it your dad? Someone preached about the. Can't remember. Maybe I should have brought it up.
That's impressive.
I forgot, but someone preached about it. Might have been Vlad.
no, he talked about Mary, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Whatever. Someone preached about it. The washing the feet and the significance of it. Was it?
Dude, it was David.
It was
for
David.
sure
Yeah, it was David. Yeah,
Okay.
you're right.
Yeah, whoops.
The significance of washing the feet.
I was just looking up what doors were made out of in ancient Egypt, like doorposts, because I wanted to see if, like, I don't know, it's just my head. That wood is the same wood that was used on the cross. That would be really cool. But
That would be cool.
I don't have time to look at it,
Oh,
so
okay.
yeah.
I'll look at it after, though.
Pin it in the
Okay.
comments if you find it.
That'd be crazy.
Dude, I
That'd be
know.
crazy.
But anyways, also Judas getting called out at
Judas.
the Last Supper.
Okay, that is some because I think someone mentioned it this Sunday. That so I'll read it again because when we were going through John, we talked about how Jesus says, "What you're going to do it quickly, Judas." So if you look at John, okay, I actually have the bookmarker. Nope, I saved the memory verse. Never mind. The disciples looked at one another, uncertain of whom he spoke. One of the disciples, whom Jesus loved, was reclining at the table at Jesus' side, which is John. He's talking about himself, because John wrote the book of John. Um, so Simon Peter mentioned to him to ask Jesus of whom he was speaking. So the disciple leaned back and said against Jesus and said, Lord, who is it? And Jesus answered, it is he whom I'll give the morsel of bread when I have dipped it. So when he dipped the morsel, he gave it to Judas, son of Simon Iscariot. So then after that, it says, like Jesus says to Judas, what you are going to do quickly. Now no one at the table knew why he said this to him. Some thought he was had the money bag, so Jesus was telling him to go buy food or for the feast or whatever. So it's believed that it was like a private conversation between John and Jesus.
Okay.
That like Peter was like, "Yo, John, ask Jesus who he's talking about." So John whispers like, "Hey, who are you talking about?" He's like, "I'm gonna dip this bread and I'm gonna give it to who it is," and gives it to Judas. And John's like, but no one else knew. And it also says he has the money bag.
Yeah.
He was in charge of like their ministries, money and
Like the
financial.
treasurer. That's
Yeah,
what
the
it says,
treasurer
yeah.
pretty much, and he was. It says I don't know if it was in here, but I know it says he was like embezzling money. He was
Yeah,
stealing
for
it.
sure. In
So
John,
he
yeah,
was.
it was brought up. I
He
think
was.
my dad's sermon, right?
Yeah,
He-
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I
I
think it was your
remember
dad who
that. I
mentioned
remember
this.
that.
John
Yeah, it was
12,
your dad.
John 12.
It was.
What my mind says, but I don't know.
Yeah, it was. He
But
wasn't.
he's-
It was just his character. Like it was already. He was already, just not. Like and it also goes to like people. Jesus chose. Like regular people. You know, like he will choose you to do great things, and it's still up to you. Like you're not just because you're chosen doesn't mean you're just set on the right path automatically. No,
Yeah.
you still have to work, and you can still make mistakes, and you can still be.
yeah, and I was recently thinking about this. Like you see with every
Jesus called
single
Judas, you know.
disciple,
crazy.
it's like, yeah, it is just a regular person, but like even after, like especially like we were talking about it Sunday, and I think I'm kind of jumping a little forward to the actual like death of Jesus. It's like as soon as Jesus died, like they had the promise, right? Like Jesus said, like I will
Yeah,
rise
he
again,
says so many times
so many
that
times,
I'm
and what they
going into
do,
somewhere you
yeah,
won't see
And
me.
also, I mean, the Old Testament has so many prophecies
yeah,
about
and they
a
knew the
man,
Bible.
you know,
Like, they
someone
knew
coming
the
up and
and then
taking
the
the throne.
Torah.
they instantly just got scared, right? And like
Yeah,
and they
flee.
hid, right? They didn't want to.
Peter denied 3 times. All the other disciples besides John ran away.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
So this idea that like, dude, like as influential as they were as disciples, and you see after, right? Peter, John, all of them, you know,
Yeah.
they go out. Paul too, but like, I mean, they have their shortcomings. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They are not
He
perfect
calls
and stuff.
ordinary people to do extraordinary things.
Yeah.
David Monte says it a lot.
Yeah.
I like that.
But yeah, I like to say, he called fishermen to make them fishers of men.
Oh, that's good. It's funny. Not all of them were fishermen, but it's okay, I guess. It works for some of
A
them.
few of them.
Don't call me out like that.
Yeah.
Um,
That's good stuff.
Yeah,
There's a lot,
it's,
dude.
Yeah, it's
Even before the supper, Jesus, it's like one of the biggest monologues of
mhm.
of the. I don't know
when he's
if it's-
praying. When he's
when he's
praying.
praying.
Yeah.
No. Not even just when he's praying. In John, it includes they have a huge conversation of just Jesus talking at the Last Supper, instructing them. Like it's like almost like a final farewell, like
Oh,
a final teaching for them. Like you're gonna be persecuted. I think there's a part where he says you're gonna be persecuted. The world hates you because they first hate me. Like a lot of that stuff is gonna be in like it's a lot of like a final farewell teaching you. I don't know. We don't have enough time to go through all of it, but it's like
Mhm.
a lot of like a big monologue
Yeah.
that Jesus goes through and talks to
And
the
I mean,
disciples.
he you know, they had to sit through that, and then he dies right on the cross, and then like,
They still
dude, they just could like forget it. Not,
Yeah,
for
I
sure
don't
they
know.
don't forget.
Yeah.
I guess they get scared and stuff. But
it's hard to say
Yeah.
'cause
but I do think like the most important part is this idea of like what they do after, right? And I
Yeah.
think I know my dad preached about this idea of like, you know, what did Judas do when he realized? Because he realized just like he was
tried to
alone.
he
right?
tries to give the money
He
back.
tries to give the
He
money
tries
back,
to like say like, hey, let him go. I'll give you
Yeah.
the money back. But
you never see him go to Christ or to God in prayer, or you know, something to go
yeah,
maybe to his disciples, you know, or like to his disciples, his friends who are the
Yeah.
disciples, and be like, look, I messed up, like I need, you know, like it's this idea of, you know, what does
he
Peter
didn't
do?
have a friend like John.
hmm
Remember? I think it was your dad
Yeah,
or
yeah.
Father. Someone who said that. Have yourself a John
yeah.
who's there to like he helped Peter in his lowest moment of his life.
hmm
Yeah.
But it's
I guess, I mean, yeah, like the garden, as you're talking about the garden, Peter's denial. So, I mean, I was thinking, and I'm pretty sure I heard a sermon a while back about this, but so I was telling Benji about this. Um, in the garden, when Jesus is predicting, prophesying, whatever, Peter's eventual denial, right?
No, that's still. I'm pretty sure that's still at the table.
Is it? Is
I'm
it?
pretty
Yeah,
sure it's
because
at
I'm
the
looking
table.
right now in Luke, and Jesus
It's
foretells
while they're
Peter's
having dinner.
denial is at the Lord's Supper.
Okay. Well, anyways, but at the garden, and before that, we see, well, at that supper when Jesus is telling him that, Peter's like, "No, I will
Yeah.
never
No,
betray
I'll
you."
never betray you. I'll die for you.
Yeah,
He says,
exactly.
"I'll
I'll
die for
die
you."
before I deny
Yeah.
you. But then, obviously, eventually does it. So, and then also,
Dude.
Jesus tells him to be watchful, right? Um, I don't know why I'm forgetting now, but in Matthew 26, he actually says it. But he says to be watchful, and then Peter eventually lashes out in anger by cutting off, the guard's ear.
Malthus. His main name was mentioned in John.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. It was the high priest, like second, like right hand guy, like his servant pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then eventually, Peter actually commits, the denial. So for me, it's almost like the story of a backsliding Christian, right? We have this arrogance, right? Peter, in this case, would be like, "I'll never deny you." He's saying that, he's above that. He's been with Jesus for so long. He's above that.
Yeah.
He doesn't have to. And that arrogance turns into not being watchful, right?
Yeah.
So Peter forgets to watch himself, lashes out in anger. This is just a first step of him, and then actual committal of the denial.
Yeah.
So that's a lot of what happens. We get arrogant, and then we forget to become watchful, and then we actually do this type of stuff. But yeah,
Just being wise, right? And I think it says in the Bible, wisdom comes from fear of the Lord, and that is like being watchful, right? Of is part of fearing the Lord is this idea of you're watchful over where you're stepping, what you're going to do, where where you who you talk to, all that stuff. And because you look at Peter, like, dude, John already entered, you know what I'm saying, and he's fine, like I don't know what went in him to like deny Jesus when like he already sees
Yeah.
his friend is inside.
I know.
Like
I know.
for me, that's always the most baffling part is like, I'd understand if it's like the guards or there was swords at
It was the
neck or
gatekeeper.
something. Yeah, but
It
it
was
was
the gatekeeper though,
uh
and she didn't say the same thing to John. John knew.
but that's what I'm saying, right? So
people
like
of the
you
temple.
seeing your friend who also believes in Jesus just walked right in.
Right.
Like,
I guess. Yeah.
I mean, yeah. Look at us though. We know we've been told our lives, and we believe in our hearts. I hope that Jesus is always there watching over us, right? But we still sin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
so much, yeah.
we still fall into the flesh. So I guess I give Peter a pass on this one.
Yeah.
Oh,
No,
for
it's
sure. Well, I think
Well, I mean, not a
It's
pass,
obviously
but I'm
just-
saying
it's just-
it's same thing for us.
the story of every Christian life.
yeah, and
Yeah.
well, that's what I'm saying. Like, it depends. You see what Peter does after, right?
Yeah,
You look in his book. Sorry to interrupt, but
That's good.
like in Peter, Second Peter, right? He like one of his main message is this idea of be watchful for when the Lord's coming again, right? Like,
Yeah.
not only just being watchful, but Sigrabesh, to hurry it up to I don't know the exact word in English, but that he focuses. That's what that's one of his focuses, right? Is this continue now? It's like, okay, now we know we need to focus on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just also the story of, I guess, like the first, like, when Jesus comes back alive, he resurrects Peter's whatever, like, so downtrodden because he
Yeah.
denied him. Is like, God, Jesus, I don't deserve whatever. And Jesus says, "Do you love me?" Like 3 times, like as like a, like your love for me, like it will get you through it. Like if you truly love me, you'll pick yourself back up, and you'll sin no more, and you'll repent, and you'll get back on the right track, and you'll get back to following me. It's the story of like it's like the first instance of like Jesus showing that the blood is like already spilt. Just come to me, and you'll find like I truly believe if like Judas had Peter's response of coming back to Jesus, he could have been forgiven, even though
I mean,
he
yeah.
betrayed the Son of Man. I mean, we all were Judases in sin. Like we were, sin is sin to God.
It's like my dad's from the idea of like we're all robbers, right? And you see the robber right next to Jesus on the cross. We're like,
Yeah.
dude, I mean, for him to be on the cross, he did something. Like it was not just like,
Yeah, no. It said
you know, he
two
didn't.
robbers. Like they
Yeah.
both committed the same crime, but the response of one was different than the other, and that's what put them in heaven or hell.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, I guess we move on to the actual death, right? After the garden, Peter's denial. Jesus receives 40, right? One more than 39 lashes, and then he takes up his cross with the help of Simon, and then they actually
I would
Jesus gets
highly
crucified.
recommend watching Passion of the Christ. If you guys haven't, I hope most of you guys have. Not hope, but it's the only rated R movie I recommend, just because the violence and like the
Yeah,
gruesomeness
for
of
sure.
the actual Jesus' suffering. But it puts into perspective and uh what he went through and what crucifixion is actually like. And like a lot of like Romans, crucifixion was a big way. Like a lot of people got
That was
crucified.
the
It
worst
wasn't just
punishment,
the
right? Like that was
huh.
not like that was the worst punishment you could
Well,
get
it's the worst
was
punishment you
crucifixion.
get, but there's plenty of people like slaves that try to leave, disobeyed. You know, who did they crucify? Which martyr was crucified upside down?
Peter.
It was Peter. Yeah, like they crucified Peter. Like a lot of people got crucified, but it wasn't just the crucifixion. It was also he felt the pain of sin and death on like from every sin.
Yeah.
Like
So the actual science behind crucifixion, right? So they're hanging up there with their hands and their feet bound by the nails, and um, they to actually be able to breathe in that position, you have to slowly lift your body up to actually take a breath, and then you sag back
yeah,
down,
I've heard this.
right?
Yeah,
So I remember Awado giving I think it was on Good Friday a long time ago. He gave us just like a teaching based on the actual science behind crucifixion and what it means for us. And so the process of crucifixion is that you have to take that breath every once in a while, obviously, to breathe, and eventually your body gets tired out and you just run out of energy and you can't do it. And that takes a lot longer than 3 hours. That Jesus was on the cross for 3 hours. But it takes a lot longer. It takes about like up to 24 hours, 48 hours. But yeah, it takes a long time for your body to eventually tire out. And so the fact that Jesus spent 3 hours on the cross before dying shows the weight that had been on him. Like remember
from
he
the
was
sin.
sweating blood in the garden,
Yeah,
from all the
sweat.
stress.
He sweat blood.
Yeah, which is actually happens in
Yeah, it's
real
been
life. That
proven.
actually
Yeah, that
happens
actually
to
happens.
people that are extremely distressed, and also Jesus bearing the weight of all our sins
Yeah.
on the cross.
In Passion of the Christ, because I just watched it recently. Well, I haven't finished it yet because it's a pretty long movie, but it has like this. It adds on a little. I'm not saying it's good, but I'm not saying it's
Spoiler alert!
bad.
Spoiler
Like it's
alert!
kind of like while Jesus is praying, the
Yeah.
devil is trying to taunt him, and obviously Jesus goes in the wilderness to be tempted by the devil. So I don't like say it's not
So
something
they're
that happened.
throwing some
It's not
creative.
like unbiblical like
Yeah.
the way, but he's saying, do you really think you can bear this? This is too much to bear, and it's Jesus like having like you think of sweat all over your face, like it's like covering you, like beads of sweat, but it's red, like
Yeah.
all like, and he's like shaking, and he's covered and drenched, and it's just a really powerful scene where like Jesus knows what he's about to bear, and he feels it. It's crazy. Yeah, but you continue what you're saying. So it's like
I mean, yeah. I mean,
the way to sin accelerated his tiring
exactly.
out
Yeah.
and his death on the cross.
And
Yeah, it's crazy. One other thing I would add, also, sorry, Andre, but I don't know where I heard this from, but when they stabbed Jesus with the spear, it wasn't like just blood that came out.
yeah,
It was like a like I
it's
don't know, was it
water and
water?
blood.
It was water.
Water. Yeah.
Yeah, it was water. That's scientific. It's literally like it means he bled all his blood out. Like he gave all his blood. There's nothing left more for him to give. Like that's how much it costs. Like it's crazy.
Yeah, for me, like the heaviest moment, and it's one of those things that I still like, um, to truly understand is, when uh, he's doing all these things, and like Benji said about the movie, like I mean, it's gruesome. But then he says those words like, "Father, Father, why have you forsaken me?" Right? Like
Yeah.
those words for me, like it's one of those like, man, like here's the Son of Man, right? The Son of God, right? Like, um, on the cross, and there's so much weight, so much that's happening, that he cries out to his father and says, Father, Father, why have you forsaken me? It's one of those things where, I mean, that's the heaviest moment. Like every single time I read it, like not to be that guy, but like I'm over here getting like goosebumps, like
Yeah.
it's out of all the phrases, that's the one for me where I mean, and he still has the power to say, and I don't know, I'm always confused about this. We can talk about this, like the order of his last words, right? Because I know
Forgive them for
John,
they know not what they do. That's crazy.
the what?
Forgive them for they know not
Yeah,
what
that's
they
what I was
do.
about to bring up. Yeah,
Yeah.
like I don't know if that one comes after he says, "Father, Father, why have you forsaken me?" or before, but either way, like he still has that mentality of like as heavy as it is, and like the feeling of as if the father like turns his head away. Like I mean, we've all felt like disappointment from our fathers. You know what I'm saying? And it's like I know it's like it's not that comparable, but it's still like it hurts, you know what I'm saying, to see that your dad's like truly it's
Yeah.
like, yeah, okay, he spanks you, but like for you to look at your dad and like him be like that disappointed where he can't even look at you or something.
Yeah.
And like I said, I don't want to like compare necessarily like because there's a difference, one's carrying the
Yeah.
whole weight of mankind on him, but for sure that for me is the heaviest moment of, and like I just imagine like just this complete darkness. I forgot exactly how they put it in Passion of Christ, but like I just like imagine like just for like a second like everything is still like like
It's
I
like
don't.
the solar eclipse. Like like everything goes dark. Like it says the
Yeah,
sun
just
was
like
blocked out.
just this like eeriness of like nobody wants to like say anything or do anything. We're just like they're all just standing there like like wow.
Yeah. The soldier who was like, wait a minute. Wait a minute. We might have been wrong. This might actually be the Messiah.
Yeah.
Whoops. My bad.
But luckily, 3 days later, we have the
Amen.
resurrection. Not
Yeah.
luckily, sorry.
Yeah.
I think Otto
We
was
don't
about
believe
to
in
Just
say
like
something
it
about
was
that.
told. Just like it
It's
was
Yeah,
not
there you go.
told.
luck,
Jesus saying,
Nathan.
"Oh, the temple will be raised in 3 days after it's destroyed."
Yeah, dude.
Jesus is,
First time I realized that, I was like, wait a minute. He's talking about himself. He is
yeah,
the temple living in us. That's crazy, bro.
I know. So I think everyone knows the story of the resurrection, right? 3 days later, Jesus comes, and then Mary Magdalene and Mary, right? They come and they find the empty tomb with the angels inside, and then Jesus pops up and shows himself to Mary Magdalene. And so I guess this is something like, what do you guys think of the significance that the women are being the first?
Heard
I
about this
think
a
we
lot.
heard a sermon about this, but the women being the first to see.
Just the way I heard it put was just obviously the upside down kingdom. First will be last, last will be first. Humble yourselves so you be made lifted high in heaven, whatever. So it's like back then, no one trusted the women, no one cared what they said, but Jesus chose who he showed himself first to for a reason, showing that women have
Yeah, um
openness.
I think that works. I think for me it was more this idea. I think Frate de Costel, right? Costel had a sermon yesterday about that this idea of like she was the one who stayed. You know what I'm saying? She was the one who who like took the time to
Vi-
cry for Christ. You know what I'm
and
saying? Took
visit
the
the
time.
tomb too.
All the disciples they're in their whole place still hiding, right? Even
Yeah,
Yep.
and I think
they locked the doors.
yeah,
And
even after like Peter and John see the empty tomb, it's like John says he saw and believed, right? That's what John it says. But then they just go back and they're like, okay, well, what do we do now? You know what I'm saying? But you have Mary who like truly has this servant heart where she's there, she's waiting, and like her first thing is like as soon as she hears the voice, like what where did you put him? Where I need I so I um can take him. So so I think it's more of I'm okay with the whole upside down kingdom thing. I don't know, is that a good phrase? The upside down kingdom?
I've heard people use it a
It's
lot.
it's
Okay.
it's the sense as in Jesus came to flip over the old traditions of the Jewish, the Israelites, right? So everything he brought into the new kingdom he was building was completely upside down from what the Israelites,
Old tradition,
yeah,
like
what
old
the
covenant,
Israelites
the
had
new
been
covenant.
trying to live out their lives like the way they're trying to live
It's
their
not
lives.
through. It's not by works anymore. It's through faith in Him.
Yeah, exactly. And um, yeah, like either he flipped over the tables at the. I mean, I don't think that's significant,
Oh
but
man! Oh man!
At camp, Open Heaven, me, Andrew, had we all did like Bible skits, and we chose
You guys did
the
that?
temple when he flipped the tables in the temple, and we weren't allowed to use like we had set props, and like there's no table we could use, so we use a person as a table. So I walked in carrying a guy on my shoulder and set him up like a table because I was the guy selling the stuff, and Andrew was Jesus, and Andrew flipped the guy and he like jumped with Andrew to make it like it was really funny. Everyone like was like yeah, it
That's
was
so
really
good.
funny.
Are you guys going? I mean, I know it's kind of off topic, but are you guys like going to camp? I mean, like for me, I'm getting married. You know, I'm not.
I'm still going to camp
Okay.
just because
But Andre, what do you feel
Leia's
like?
going
I
to
haven't been to
camp.
camp in a while. I
Listen.
know that.
If Eileen's watching, for sure, I'm going to
you
camp.
think he's watching, bro? I don't.
Probably not. I mean,
I just haven't been in a while. And
Yeah, I haven't been in a while. Um, a B. I don't know. It just depends what I'm doing.
I know
usually.
I really enjoyed it whenever those few years I went, but
Dude, it's changed a lot.
I know that exactly.
It's
yeah,
a lot smaller, a lot younger group.
exactly.
I was one of the oldest people there, which is
I still want to
crazy.
do the talent show though.
Dude,
I've always
why
wanted to
didn't
sing Pizza Angel.
they
bro.
haven't had talent show ever since I came? I think
Then why
my
would I
first
even
year was the
go?
first year they didn't do a talent
Actually
show.
connect with Jesus and continue to build my
Yeah,
my spiritual
or-
maturity. No.
Come for the talent show,
Talent show.
for the soccer games, bro. The volleyball tournament. Just kidding. Camp is really nice.
It is. Yeah.
Anyways, back on topic. Resurrection.
If they want to sponsor us, we'll promote Camp Open Heaven. Sorry, okay. continue.
We're with some
This
merch.
summer sometime. Make sure you guys come by your.
But yeah, I mean, I guess I mean, I didn't write down that much. I just kind of wrote down woman being first to see Jesus.
Yeah,
So
it's
I mean, if you
significant.
guys-
Obviously, it's on purpose.
So I guess after that, Jesus, all the way up into the ascension, right? He is showing himself to so many different people, and the one that I always look back to is when he's talking to the two travelers on the road. I forgot to where,
Oh, that one's cool.
but
Yeah.
he just shows up, and I'm blanking now. I'm forgetting the significance I was thinking about. Does anyone have anything to bring
had
me out of
something
this
to
hole I
say
dug myself
too.
into?
That was Frate Marinel's.
Was
sermon.
it?
Yeah,
Okay.
he was
I
talking.
don't want
about
to sound
that too.
dumb, but wasn't it disciples they were traveling? Because it said he disguised himself so they wouldn't recognize him.
Yeah, so they're not one of the 12, but
they're one of
yes,
a
they're
follower of Jesus.
yeah, they're a follower of Jesus, and
Great.
Jesus. I mean, the 12 are the really close ones, but Jesus had more
Yeah,
disciples
there's
that
plenty
followed
of
him.
people.
But I mean, I guess about that, the group of disciples, that I think the way I envision the 12 disciples and Jesus going around is like they're just living off of almost scraps, right? They're just going from town to town, preaching, bringing more followers.
They're
to
relying on
Christ.
gifts of like they just like God will provide. Like
Yeah, exactly.
like they're just going town by town, trusting.
like I
that-
wish I had the faith.
yeah,
live
it's
like
just-
that.
even the early church they just wrote.
Of course, I know the
sold
world is
everything.
way different nowadays, but we can still get so much out of the way that Jesus and his followers live. Because I mean, we're supposed to live like
And
Christ, but
they
also
had to live
physically,
through
I mean,
Judas taking money out of it too, so it's not like they got 100% of the gifts. Judas was still stealing that money, like a lot of it. So
that is
Just kidding.
true. But I mean, that's how I always see it, as just like a troop of guys traveling around,
I mean that's how early
and
missions
Jesus
was
just
too.
preaching, teaching,
Missions
um,
now.
changing people's lives. And yeah, again, I wish I had the faith to live like that.
Yeah, that's
just-
crazy.
To go out and just preach the streets, live off of whatever the Lord provides, just
Yeah.
leave everything behind. It's crazy what those
That is
guys
crazy.
did, what those men did.
Yeah.
I'm not going off
I
God.
mean, the story of Matthew. This is preached recently too. I forget who does, but it matters. It doesn't matter who preaches it. It matters if I
Yeah, what you got?
understand it. No. But Matthew, the tax collector, he left behind a good job. Left behind making a lot of money, being a bad
little
person.
too much money.
Yeah, a little too much money, more than he should have. been
Mihai.
making. Yeah. Who?
Mihai. Claudia.
Yeah, you're right. It was Matthew. Yeah. But
Did you find it, Andre?
Oh yeah, so I didn't find. I looked at Matthew. I found it in Mark, but it just says like he just appeared to two people walking in the country, and then
Mm.
that's all it says. And so I'm looking through Matthew, I didn't find. I actually got distracted. I was like, well, what am I even looking at? Because I was actually
Hey, it's good. You love the word. That's
continue
good. That's good.
reading, but I couldn't find it in yeah, I couldn't find it in. So I assume it's probably in John, but I don't remember. We did recently Bible study, so I don't know. It's somewhere in there. Somewhere in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't got anything else.
Yeah. What time? What
We're
time? What
41.
time? 41.
I mean, I'm
Yeah, I
good.
guess we could just talk a little bit about last week's episode. A little
Oh,
bit
yeah,
more,
that
'cause
is a good
we
idea to
kind
end
of
it on,
skipped
yeah.
over that, but I just want to thank you guys for all the cookies in the comments.
Now we have to provide
Any
them.
new cookies from now on will not be accepted, but there's no youth night again this week. So I don't
Hope
know
you
if I'll
forget.
remember
No, I'm
it in
kidding.
2 weeks.
We'll bake some hopefully for the next Friday on the
We'll, as in
21st,
me,
right?
because I
David,
said
David
it
was
and I
saying.
shouldn't have said it because now I actually have to deliver on the
Yeah.
promise.
Oh man.
But
I
this
feel like there's
week-
enough.
I will not give you anything. Should we do another one? Nah, that's cringe.
We'll save it for like episode like 3 or 4.
Yeah,
if there's-
yeah,
we'll do
now
it
they know.
random,
Now
random,
they know.
random.
They're gonna skip to that. Suckers. There's nothing at the end. It's just us. That's all you get.
Thank
Get
you
a-
for all the kind and lovely
I
support.
know. Our
Yeah.
moms are up there.
I
No, it's your
know.
mom, Andre. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to call her
That
out
random
like
guy
that.
Al who said he's only here for me. Dude, that really
That
boosts my self-confidence,
Yeah,
bro.
it struck your, strummed your heartstrings. is what
Yeah,
you're saying.
it really did. So whoever you are, Al, I'm here.
No, we'll continue, and I think we completely forgot to mention this. The goal is to have guests.
Yeah.
Oh
So-
yeah.
So we were gonna mention this at the beginning, but we couldn't pull one through for this week.
We asked a few people,
yeah,
and
not
I'm gonna
gonna
put them on
say
blast. We
anything,
asked,
yeah,
we asked Dragos, we asked Ruben, we asked
Every single-
Matthew, dude.
The main problem is that we live far away. I know that. So eventually,
Maybe
when
we'll
school
do
lets
it
out and we move the
Saturdays.
set, if we
Ooh,
keep on doing
my
this, oh my goodness,
Yeah.
if we move the set, maybe people would be more willing
Yeah.
to actually come over.
Yeah, and also Nathan's getting married soon, and he won't be living with us anymore. So I don't think podcasts will be here for very
Yeah.
much longer.
But if there is actually someone who's actually willing on Mondays to come,
Next Monday or the Monday after are the last ones you can come.
yeah, actually, yeah, because then,
That's crazy.
yeah, I'm bouncing out.
But
So. No, actually, we got 3.
Oh yeah,
Also-
exam week. My
Yeah,
bad.
so we-
I keep pushing for this. I don't know what Nathan and Andre think, but I asked YouTube for permission to live stream, and we can set up a live stream and have Q&A. And
It
a
doesn't
fun
have to be
time.
like now, but I'm definitely willing
No,
to do it
soon.
after a couple more episodes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
It's like
So
a
let
fifth
us know.
episode special.
And we just be like, we'll say announce in the group, be like, hey, we're going live whenever. Make sure you guys tune in and like
Yeah,
give us questions.
at a reasonable time.
It should be fun.
No,
yeah,
we're doing it at 3.
we could like set a poll like when would work best for everyone. But no, it'd be fun.
But I think I think it's important that we are trying to continue and like kind of just kind of see where this thing goes. So we're gonna actually try to keep on.
I'm here just 'cause it's fun.
Yeah, making episodes
I like
every
to
week.
talk.
I don't think we'll get the same
Also,
viewership as
Yeah,
episode
it's
1.
good to hear
Yeah.
other, because my mind always runs to this stuff, especially at this time of year, about like all this stuff that's happening. But it's
Yeah.
good to hear something other than sermons and casual talk.
Yeah,
for
and I
sure.
guess I can talk to you guys and them at the same time, but like this week, yeah, it was kind of all about the whole topic was about Christ, and I'm okay with that, but like that doesn't mean that every week, it's just gonna be only
Biblical topics.
biblical topics.
We can talk
Obviously,
about-
for sure we can bring that in there, but
Well, it's obviously gonna be all like biblical based. Like, we're
biblical
Christians,
based
but
stuff. But yeah,
we
this
talk about other
this
topics.
week was kind of, I guess, like an Easter
Obviously it's
special.
Easter.
We just wanted
Easter
to,
special.
Yeah,
Oh, you
there
should
you
have said
go.
at the beginning. That would be funny. Welcome to Easter special.
yeah. So
But yeah,
so that's that's why the focus was. I guess it was just more of a commentary. I guess lessons learned. Do we got any lessons?
hey,
learned?
I hope you got. Oh, I mean, the lesson learned is that Jesus Christ rose from the dead and saved us from our
Yeah.
sins.
Yeah.
and yeah,
Give
and
us
just
hope, give us life.
the way we respond, right, when it comes to that denial, how Peter responded.
The way you
and-
respond after sin.
Yeah, and then we talked about mob mentality too at the beginning
Yeah.
when it comes to Palm Sundays.
So be watchful. I know, like literally the whole letters of Paul. That's funny. I'm trying to ignore it.
At the
but it's
very
kinda
end of the
hard to.
podcast. Not very many people are gonna see that.
Yeah. Anyways, but yeah. So like the whole, the whole New Testament is based on being watchful. Yeah, that's kind of the main takeaway.
Yeah.
for sure.
Other
just-
than
yeah.
Let us know if you guys want to see a gaming channel.
Oh
We have a
my
little
goodness.
Minecraft in there.
Do not listen to Benji.
Sponsor for
We're
better
not doing a game.
PCs.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we'll
Also,
definitely do
we're definitely looking for
We are
some
not
sponsors.
it. No, we're
Tim
not really- we're
Tika,
not really-
Tim Construction,
Yeah.
All Star Construction. My
But,
dad.
Yeah.
If you guys actually have topics and stuff, like
Oh yeah,
drop
comment.
drop in the
What do
comments.
you guys want to
Or
hear?
I mean,
Um,
even just questions.
I think you guys saw last week. I
concerns.
love talking. Hopefully, I did better this week.
I think you did.
Yeah, I'm
proud of
so
you.
glad
I'm
you
really
just
proud
didn't
of you. He was
talk
like,
too long.
he's really holding himself
Wow,
back
but
here.
I-
I could
yeah,
see him shaking.
But
Dude, it's always the end of the podcast that we just talk about the most random
yeah,
stuff.
so we're
I think
willing to
I've
talk
just
about
5
we're
episodes.
willing to talk about anything. I guess within limits, anything. But dude, I'm excited.
Yeah.
You know, not
This
to
is
be that
fun.
not to be that cringy,
Me
cringy guy.
too.
As
It's
if
fun,
you know, we're talking as if we got like fans. You know what I'm saying? That like
What should we call them?
stop. No, we're stopping right
No,
there.
no, no,
Don't-
no.
don't-
What should we call them? We gotta give you
We'll
guys a
figure
name.
this out, man.
We gotta give you
stop
guys a
it.
name.
You stop it right there. We are not.
But
doing
yeah, I
that
mean,
yet.
I think we're good to end it here. I think
Yeah.
we hopefully got out what we want to say. We learned a lot, and we hope you guys learned more than we did. Even though I learned a lot for sure.
Yeah, or at least stuck around. Yeah, we appreciate you guys. You know, let us know if this is shorter. Me personally, I told the guys I'm okay with talking more.
We
I'm
know
just,
you are.
I'm just throwing that out there.
A
you
lot
know
of people
what I'm saying?
said they'd
Yeah.
rather hear a little
So
shorter.
you're welcome.
stuff.
We're listening to your demands. Andre has to sacrifice something for this podcast, other than
Exactly.
his money.
Um,
Anyways, yeah, I'm gonna end here. I hope you guys enjoyed. And
Episode
please,
2, yeah.
hope
yeah.
you're guilty if you watch this on 2 times speed. Hope you feel guilty and bad.
But yeah, have a blessed rest of your week. Hopefully, I'll
Yeah.
release this tomorrow or Wednesday.
Tuesday.
I'm trying to do a
Yeah.
little higher production value, guys. So trying to edit this a little better. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Thanks
be
Appreciate you
for
blessed.
guys.
watching.
Thank you.
Thank you. We'll see you next week.
Adios.
Signing off.